makes me click the recording button twice.
It's recording.
Oh, it is. It is. There it is.
Leave that in.
Okay. Why not? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another well thought out, well organized episode of the Sports Medicine Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Maddie Portland. I'm here with your other host, Hayley Karpic.
Hey.
Haley, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. How are you? I know, like, this was a little impromptu. I texted you this morning, like, record ? And then you were like, today's the only day that works. And I was like, well, good. Today works for me too.
Is that a Celsius?
That I'm drinking?
Yes.
No. Are you like a Celsius? I love a good Celsius.
That surprises me.
Why? Have you ever had one?
I've had a half of one.
For our listeners, I just took a sip from a can and I guess it kind of does look like a Celsius. It looks like, I thought you were going to ask me if I was drinking a beer or like a seltzer.
Oh, yeah. No.
No, this was on sale at the Giant. It's called Shine Water.
Interesting.
I hope it doesn't have caffeine.
This is not an ad.
This is not an ad, but if they wanted to sponsor us, we'd welcome it. They're tasty. No, but I love a Celsius. It's like, I mean, it's like straight gas into the veins. Diesel.
Yeah, I can't drink that much caffeine. I
was gonna say I wouldn't want to see you. You got getting a little jittery.
Yeah,
I love a Celsius.
I'm paranoid.
Like, yeah, it literally says on the can, like, don't drink more than 2 of these a day. Because it has like 200 mgs of caffeine. So my office has them in like a cooler, like you can, open the fridge door and get a Celsius.
Fancy.
And yeah, it's dangerous. And they taste so good. Like I'm a sweet person though. Like there's no thing that's too sweet. Like they're really sweet. But like, again, I work with all old people, and this guy next to me, we have an open concept, but like, open concept, but everybody kind of has their assigned desks. So the guy that sits next to me one day was like, have you ever had one of these like sparkling waters? And I was like, oh, and he like shows me the Celsius can, and I was like, yeah, like they're delicious. And it's like 3 p.m. and I was like, just so you know, that does have like 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. And he was like, and then he like goes and Googles like, and he's like, what? That's like over 2 cups of coffee. And I was like, yeah. I was like, have fun tonight. I was like, have fun sleeping. And he's never had a Celsius since. Like it burned him once. If I was drinking a Celsius right now, I would not be able to sleep tonight. So I'm glad I'm having a Shine Water.
Okay. So, but you only have them like in the morning then?
Well, no. Back when I would go out a lot more, or even nowadays, if you said like, let's go out, I would pregame with a Celsius and like maybe add a shot to it.
Got you. Okay. So morning or
they're great like
social
pre-workout
meeting.
on the, like, say I'm like going on a run on the weekend and we're running at 8 a.m. and I don't want to drink a coffee before that. Like I'll have half a Celsius.
Got you.
Fill the receptors. They're delicious.
Okay. All right.
But if Celsius wants to sponsor us, I'd welcome that too. So yeah.
Interesting.
Shine Water.
Yeah, no, I'm espresso.
Do you drink coffee? Oh,
yeah,
okay. You do drink coffee.
Espresso.
You just have like a shot of espresso in the morning?
No, literally I make,
Are you out there doing latte art?
An Americano, which is just.
I love an Americano.
Espresso
water. You're speaking to a former barista. I do know what
Yeah. So.
I do like, that's what I get out and is an Americano. I'm like, every time, if I'm getting a coffee out, I'm getting an Americano.
That's another thing. It tastes so much better in Europe than in America.
Yeah. I mean, Starbucks can't hold a flame to the espresso they do over there.
And they don't even call it, like, it's not even called an Americano over there. Like some places
they don't drink Americanos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could order an espresso over water, but they don't really drink. Yeah. They don't really do Americanos.
I learned that the fun way when I was in Switzerland when I ordered an Americano and the lady looked at me like, what? Yeah,
even if you do an espresso, like when I'm traveling abroad, I'll get an espresso over ice, which, in America, that'd be an iced Americano. And it's truly just like 2 shots of espresso over ice. And it's like this much, and you're like, okay, well, I guess this is what I asked
Espresso
for.
on the rocks.
Literally espresso on the rocks. I'll have an espresso on the rocks, please. I'm gonna start ordering it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into some sports stuff because we know we have a
got a hard
schedule
stop
today. Okay. First thing that I wanted to bring up is how much I am obsessed with Unrivaled 3-on-3 basketball. Made
Can you
by,
explain? Can you explain what that is?
So
I'm gonna Google it while you're explaining it.
A bunch of really smart professional athletes that are women got together and were like, what if we could create something that would allow the WNBA players to make money but not have to go to Europe during the off
normally
season.
in the off season they go play in a different league, right?
Right. So they can make money to pay their bills, educate their like children, have a family, own a house, stuff like that, you know.
The usual.
Yeah. So they came up with this concept, and it's 3v3 basketball, but it's full court. The first three
I'm tired
quarters,
thinking about that.
First three quarters are like 7-minute quarters that are like there's some, like, I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty details of the rules, but basically like those are like almost like a normal basketball quarter. And then the fourth quarter, which is super cool, they call it winning score, where I'll take an example here of like, say the score up to the third quarter is 50-48. Whatever the leading score is, so in the example that I just gave was 50, you add 11 points to the winning score, which would be then 61. Yeah. And whatever team reaches 61 first wins. There's no overtime. So it's just a race then in the fourth quarter to get.
I wonder how they decided that 11.
Yeah. No. I think, so I know, like, I was saying, like, if you grew up playing basketball or playing 3-on-3, like, you would usually play by 1s and 2s and play to 11. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. But either way, it's been super cool because it leads to like a ton of like match shot or like match point types of shots like towards the end of the games, which has been awesome. The whole like culture, aesthetic, and vibe of Unrivaled is super cool. And
are teams traveling? Like, is it?
No, it's almost like a tournament.
Okay.
But yeah, like a bubble. And so there's like regular season games, and then I think there's like a playoff format that'll happen. But it's all happening in, I think, Las Vegas, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds like a place you would do it.
And then the other coolest thing that I want to brag about really quick is how they created the teams. Because
I was going to ask about that. I'm looking at these team names. Funky ass team names.
Yeah.
Why are all women's sports teams names like weird? Like, I'm just gonna toss that out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Mist, the Phantom, Rose, Vinyl. Okay, Lunar Owls.
I kind of like Vinyl though.
I like laces. I'm on the laces. Or when you have like, you have lots of people.
They took aces and they added an L.
Added a L, big drop an L in there. Okay, but you can have like rosters or like 6 people, which I guess makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a lot of running.
I know.
I'm tired thinking about it.
But so it was really cool. So they they got like the group of people that were doing this, and then they had a selection committee put players into pods based on their skill level and their position. Then they had the coaches come in that are coaching the teams, and they had them go through and pick like and assign one player to each club, like take turns. But they did not say, like, even if they didn't tell you which team you were coaching. So it was like they set it up so like the team you were picking is probably not the team you were coaching. So it was beneficial for all of them to make to make the teams like as
good
even as possible.
Or
like in terms of like them picking players, so that like the games would all be competitive. And so far, I mean, they've done a pretty good job of it. Like, so yeah, basically just the entire setup of it is incredible. It gives me a lot of faith in more people watching women's sports moving forward, as well as just like more women in influential positions, like within business, because this was just a really great idea.
It's 8 weeks in Miami.
Miami, not Vegas. Miami.
Who's bankrolling? Sure. Like, is there somebody who's funding this?
There, I think some of the like founders that are putting it together, I think like Sue Bird, Alex Morgan, they're like investors in it. And then I believe.
Yeah, Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
Like
there's a list. Handful. There's a list of them.
Mm-hmm. And I believe Michael Phelps, Nicole Phelps, like Dawn Staley, Warner Bros, Coco Gauff as an investor, Alex Morgan, Carmelo Anthony, David Levy, like the TV star. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis.
So they got
they got
cool. Some people that have some money to invest in.
Are there teams that you've like that you really like or gravitating towards?
Probably Phantom, because if I was playing on one of those teams, I would also want my jersey to be like black, just such a clean color, because I don't like color, as evidenced by my wardrobe.
Everything you've ever worn.
Ever. Yeah. I also love that it's Phantom BC, which I thought was kind of cheeky and like a call out to soccer.
I see I see that. I'm looking at these jerseys now. They're pretty cool. Oh, yeah, I do like those. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
but no Caitlin Clark, no Aja Wilson, right?
No,
Asia Wilson.
Yeah, Asia Wilson and Caitlin Clark are not.
Well, they make too much money. They probably like. I don't need to play basketball all the time.
Yeah. So I think that has probably something to do with it. But then I'm also wondering if, like, both of them they seem like the type of people that would be pretty, like, into their own private routine in terms of like training and stuff during the off season. So it's like, if you don't need to make money and you already have this, it's like, why? Yeah.
And you already have like your, things you need to work on, you can go get in the gym and exactly. No, I would. Yeah. No, I think that's pretty cool.
So anyway,
you've educated me on, I'm trying to look at, I like the Lunar Owls jersey. That would be mine because it's got an owl on it. Pretty dope. Okay, I like the logos better than I
like the team names.
No, now I want to say I like the names better because I've seen the logos. Like it checks out. It feels very off season. I'm drafting myself to the Lunar Owls. I'm getting me a Lunar Owls t-shirt.
There we go.
Yeah, I like Rose. The vinyl is actually pretty cool too. Yeah, the vinyl is really cool.
Yeah,
Mist isn't bad either. I'm not surprised you picked Phantom. It's got a ghost on it. That feels like something the laces is a little dull, but yeah, I like it. That's pretty cool. Thanks for educating me. I'd seen some flickers of things here and there on the internet.
You're very welcome. And staying on basketball topics.
Okay, and you're gonna have to educate me on this too, because I have not been paying attention. Are you gonna talk about the trade?
Yeah, the NBA trades.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh my gosh. So now,
I just see all this shit, but I'm off Twitter these days, X.
Yeah.
So I really like what's going on in the world, especially in the sports world. I'm like, beats me.
Well, so sports is pretty much the only thing I'm keeping up with now, because I had my New York Times subscription. Brian was like, we're not doing this anymore. Like,
yeah, those headlines are pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Like at 2 p.m. when you're getting like,
So he turned off.
Did you see the SNL skit?
So I only follow the Athletic Pulse, which is the New York Times like sports.
Did you see the SNL skit about? I'll send it to you. It's like this SNL skit about like the New York Times editors drafting the push notifications. It's so true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, please send me that.
Yeah. I'll find it.
That sounds.
I think it was like last week. Yeah. I'll find it.
That sounds funny. But anyway, so that's how I've been keeping up with sports, because I have a strict, like, I'm trying to be strict about it, but again, I'm lucky because every time Brian sees me on Instagram right now, he's like, get off, don't stop it.
You just need to like curate your following.
Yeah, which I do a pretty good job of. Like, the things that I care about,
people and things.
The things I care about are sports. So like that's what like my feed is. But then I do have like friends and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta start unfollowing these people
that post, like
that's
a lot
crazy.
of current event stuff. And I'm like, oh God.
My Instagram's a safe space.
Okay, well,
I've deleted all these
We can check back in when I record next to see if I've been able to further curate this. But anyway.
Yeah. It's a good thing on the to-do list when you're sitting on the plane.
Yeah, exactly. NBA trade deadline was today at 3 p.m. Eastern. So it's past now. So all of the kookiness will have settled.
What was going on? I don't even know.
So
I mean, I do know,
a lot
but
of
I don't
stuff.
know. Yeah.
So the main thing is Luka Doncic, who is like the franchise favorite player, beloved by Dallas and anyone who follows the Dallas Mavericks, was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. So he will be teaming up with LeBron James. This trade was like a 3-way team thing, or maybe even 4 teams might have been involved in it. I don't really know that, like, the details of it. I'm like, meh. But they traded Luka. So Luka's going to LA, and then Anthony Davis, the super tall guy with the unibrow. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
He was traded to Dallas.
Because Anthony Davis is kind of the pawn in this game.
It sounds like it, yes.
Why would they want to get rid of Luke? What? Who wanted who? I'm guessing the Lakers wanted Luka Doncic. Yeah.
So that's what everyone's kind of trying to speculate right now, because apparently Luka just bought a very like semi recently just bought a very expensive home in Dallas and was.
That doesn't matter though. People say that all the time.
But was supposed to be up for a super max contract at the end of this year. So the rumors floating around are that Dallas, like, they haven't won yet with him. And so they were thinking about trying to restructure.
Wait, was he with the Nuggets?
No. That's Jokic. That's another Scandinavian.
Okay. I was thinking
Are they
he's
from the same country?
Romania, I think. I was totally thinking that this was the guy from Dallas or from Denver with the horses.
No, that's Nikola Jokic.
Okay. All right. See, this is how that's how little I was paying attention. I was like, oh my God, what's he going to do with all those horses? I was like, what?
Okay. Serbia. Not
Serbia. They were Serbia, yeah. And that's when US played them in
I think Luka might be from the same spot. Where
I could see it. No,
Slovenia. So I was right.
Yeah, you were in the region.
Okay. So yeah, Luka is from Slovenia, and then Jokic is
Serbian.
Serbia. Okay. So
and
it's
now
crazy.
I know that this doesn't involve the guy who always talks about his horses. He's like, why am I playing basketball? I should be with my horses. Okay, this changed. I didn't know that. I don't even know if I know, because I literally was like, wow, when did he go to Dallas? I always thought he was with the Nuggets because they won with him. So I was a little confused.
Correct.
Okay, I get it now. I'm back. Okay, look at, he's like kind of hot.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't know. I take it back. I saw one picture. He's wearing number 77 for the Lakers. Huh.
Oh.
He was wearing 77 for the Mavs. Okay. Okay, keep going. I take it back. I take my comment on attractiveness back.
I believe he's also like married and has a child. So
did that ever stop anybody?
Good point. All right, moving on. So it's wild. No one really knows why he was traded. Because I think he's like a candidate for the MVP this year. Like he's
having a good season. Wait.
Yeah, and I mean he doesn't really have bad seasons. Like he's a very, very good basketball player.
I always forget incredible. In the NBA you can trade same with the MLB. You can trade in the NFL you can just trade in the middle.
Yeah. So it's crazy. I'm hoping the New York Times uncovers more details about this because I want to know what exactly went on. But
yeah, so it was the Jazz was the third team.
Yes, and they had
Max Keeb.
They got like some random people that are like
Jalen Hood-Schifino. So it was this is more complicated than just the three-way. So yeah. the Jazz got Jalen Hood-Schifino, a former Indiana Hoosier. I
love how you know. Like if they are in any way connected to Indiana or Pennsylvania,
if you watch
you
Big
are
Ten,
aware.
If you watched Big Ten basketball last year, you would know who Jalen Hood-Schifino is. He was a lottery pick. But that's beside. So the Jazz received Hood-Schifino and the Clippers. I don't get. Okay, I'm gonna need a podcast to break this down. It seems very complicated.
A podcast that's more
that's not us.
That's more intelligent than we are.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, fascinating. Now I know it's not.
Drop
the
in
guy
the
with
comments
horses.
if you have one of those. In mind,
yeah.
Let us
if
know.
anybody, please drop a link if you can have somebody break down this trade thing for me.
Okay.
At least I know it's not the horse guy.
Correct. Other two big points are Zach LaVine was traded from the Chicago Bulls to Sacramento. I mean, that like is the Bulls kind of signifying that everything they've done
they're going to stop playing basketball because they suck so much.
Everything up to this point has been a complete and utter failure, and now they're going into rebuilding, which we were already kind of there because our performance indicated rebuilding, even though we weren't, but now we actually are. So I guess if you're a Chicago Bulls fan or a Chicago sports fan like myself, this could be a sign of hope, but it won't be because it's Chicago. But it's still kind of fun because a lot of the times when players leave Chicago, then they perform very well.
They start to have amazing careers.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens to Zach LaVine. And then last, Jimmy Butler, who played for the Miami Heat. He is a big brand ambassador for aloe. So if you've seen an NBA player repping aloe, it's probably him. He's also very into
He's
also very into coffee.
Oh. Or it's just any NBA basketball player dressed by their girlfriends wearing aloe.
Also true. But his like Instagram is like full of like
he's an aloe ambassador. I see it now. Okay.
Yeah. So there was all this drama going on with him in the Miami Heat. He kept getting suspended for games.
Why? Because he was not showing up, or
his attitude. He was leaving practice early. He wanted to be traded, and it was taking a long time, I think. And so
he made them put pen to paper.
Yeah, pretty much. And the San Francisco Warriors picked him up, and the Warriors have Steph Curry and Draymond Green. And now they have Jimmy Butler, which I think
squad up. Those are three very different personalities.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird. I don't know how that's going to really work, but it's just kind of weird because if I think of Jimmy Butler in my head, you see Jimmy Butler with a Miami Heat jersey on.
Same.
You know, like you kind of thought that's where he was going to end his career.
Yeah. I feel like he'd been at the Heat.
Now he's going to not. He's probably going to end his career either at San Francisco or somewhere else. So yeah, that is all of my basketball news. And it's exciting that stuff is happening to just distract me from work, school, and current events.
I learned a lot because I don't really follow the NBA until like maybe watch the finals. So I learned something new. So thank you.
You are welcome. And now on to the topic that I'm sure all of our tens of listeners are wanting us to talk about.
There are tens of listeners are pressing plus 15 to get to this topic.
Over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you have for the Super Bowl? I already know the answer. You're cheering for Philadelphia. I don't know why I asked it that way.
Yeah, that's who I'm cheering for. Who do I have? Would have the Chiefs winning for sure.
Do you think
what's the line?
Whatchamacallit? It's like 1.5 or something.
I was curious to see if it had changed at all. Line Super Bowl.
Do you believe the allegations about the officiating?
Like what the officials are partial to
the Chiefs?
Yeah, in some. I think there is a piece of that that's inevitable. Good players always get good officiating. Like not all the time, but a lot of the time, the better players are.
It's a huge issue actually in the NBA as well.
Well, I think it happens in pee-wee. It happens in pee-wee soccer. Not pee-wee, but like. I feel like even as a player, when I played soccer, not saying I was always the best on the field, but there were definitely times when I was one of the better players. And I can say objectively that I feel like I got good refereeing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not all the time. Some of the time. I think I got. Yeah, I think they are somewhat partial. I think it's hard not to be. But I mean, you could say that like about a lot of players in the NFL. I think it's hard. Referees are humans, and I think there's like the human element it is hard to. But yes, there are definitely this season. I think there have been some things that have you head scratching. Not especially not even like. I can't, maybe not like later. There's some games early in the season where I was like, I remember watching one and I was like, okay, that's crazy. But I don't know. I do think the Chiefs are kind of a team like they're like a cat. They just kind of land on their feet. And have they always landed on their feet fairly? I don't know. I think they've gotten some good bounces. I think they've gotten lucky. Things like that. So that's why I think they're going to win. I think it's like, no matter what happens, they just seem to win, seem to keep on keeping on. And yeah, so I have a feeling they're going to, I think it'll be a good game. At 1.5 is a pretty small line. Yeah, it's still 1.5. I don't think I think it'll be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any stretch. I think the Chiefs are, if you look at the last 3 Chiefs they say they three-peat, which, again, that's kind of cool if it's never happened before. I think this could be the weakest Chiefs team in the past 3 years, but that's not to say they're not good, because they are quite good. I think Philadelphia just has to play a really flawless game, and Philadelphia's defense is great. It's just Mahomes is like really good, and he doesn't always look, I don't know, just again, they just make it work. Like they just kind of like find a way to make it work. So I'd be surprised if the Eagles win, but I'm not like, obviously I'm cheering for the Eagles as a Philadelphia resident. City's a buzz.
I think if anyone was going to stop the Chiefs from three-peating, the roster would look a lot like what Philadelphia's football team has in terms of a really great
good defense and a team that can run the ball.
Barkley.
Yes, and a team that can run the ball. With a dual threat quarterback. I think that's like what would you need? What's the recipe to beat the Chiefs? And I do think it is like the best defense in the NFL. Check. You've got that. Saquon, a secret weapon. Not even a secret weapon. A very dangerous player, Saquon Barkley. Yeah. And then you have a dual threat quarterback, and like I think you'd think about that. Like, what's another team? Although I don't really know how good the Bills defense is, but like similar, like kind of vibes to a team, but they throw the ball a lot more. So I think if any team, looking at the NFL landscape, if there was any team to beat the Chiefs, I think right now, not the whole season, I would have said the Eagles, but right now I would say the Eagles. So
I would agree with that. Also, It's kind of interesting because the Eagles have created, you have this controversy with the officiating and the Chiefs and stuff. But then you also have the Eagles, where they're like the teams like the Commanders, right, that are like purposefully taking penalties to try and stop the tush push. So it's like they kind of have their own like inevitability
the
to them.
The tush push
I'm not saying it's I'm not comparing the two. I just think it's interesting that more
controversial last year.
Agreed. But I think it's interesting that the two teams that are in the Super Bowl have these stories around them.
And I think that the tush push is not as much of a hot topic as it was, but yes, they have this kind of like, oh, is this fair? Is this?
I would say like, and I was talking with Brian about this. I'm interested what your opinion is, but I'm like, I think they should keep allowing Philadelphia to do it until the other teams figure out. Like, obviously there's skill and stuff involved that like they can figure it out, but other teams have tried it and then they fail. So I think. And once everyone figures it out and it's like not stoppable for any defense and all the offenses are doing it and stuff, then I'm like, then get rid of it.
And even Philadelphia doesn't convert on it. This year they didn't convert on it as much. Yeah. It's again, it's one of those things that's it's not illegal to do, and two, everybody, it's an equal opportunity thing. Like everybody can do it. Totally. So they haven't been as good at it, but they have a new guy under center. So it's still a different vibes. That's a pivot point, because I was going to say new guy under center, Jason Kelce, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Is she coming in the halftime show?
No, I don't think so.
No chance. Somebody asked me that and I was like, what her and
Kendrick Lamar
gonna do
Although
up there? Like, no.
They did do a Bad Blood together, but no, that is not what Kendrick's motives are for this halftime show. I don't
Kendrick
think.
is the guy in Bad Blood.
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, you'd know better than I, but maybe that's why people are saying this. Yeah, you're right. Kendrick Lamar. I did not even know that. So I think both if you presented it to both of them separately, they would both say no.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift would be like, fuck no, I'm gonna have the TV on me. I'm gonna have the cameras on me 100% of the time while I'm sitting in the box.
Anyway.
Yeah, kissing Mama Kelsey on the mouth. Like,
okay. There we go. I knew this would escalate eventually.
Yeah, I almost said something worse. So, and I feel like Kendrick Lamar would be like, no, that bitch ain't singing with me. Like, I've got things to do up here. But who do you think do you think it'll be? My thing with just Kendrick Lamar is like, I don't know if I think they try to make the Super Bowl like palatable for any audience.
So it begs
I'm not saying Kendrick Lamar himself isn't. I'm just saying, like, my parents are asking me, would I know a Kendrick Lamar song? And I'm like,
probably not.
Like, maybe you've heard one like
in the movie or at a sporting event. But I was like, no, I don't think. Like, last year was Usher, and I'm like, okay, you guys know Usher. Like, so I'm curious to see if they bring somebody else out to broaden the portfolio of the performance, even though I don't think he needs it because I think it's going to be kick-ass. But yeah, as far as, so like, I'm a Kendrick fan.
I'm like a medium Kendrick fan.
I've never necessarily liked that they try to pick someone for the Super Bowl that is palatable for everyone. Like, yeah.
I'm not saying they do that. I feel like I'm not saying they do that. I'm saying they usually make the performance that way.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Not always by headliner. They'll maybe bring somebody in or make a component of it.
But I think they have been doing that, a little bit of that these last few performances.
Few years, for sure.
Like, in terms of like trying to kind of have a piece of the performance that's like age agnostic, and stuff. And I'm kind of like, just
put up Kendrick Lamar. He had an amazing year. He won 5 Grammys.
I'm like, the best performer should be performing at the best game of at the Super Bowl. Like, just it's 1-to-1.
Whoever wants to do that,
right. You have to, yes. Like, you can't force someone to. But I'm saying, like, it should just be,
he had a great year.
It should just be someone that's awesome at their craft. And so this to me makes sense because he just went and won 5 Grammys. Although that's the other thing is, like, he's getting sued for the song he won 5 Grammys with right now. And
which
so
one?
is Spotify.
For defamation?
No, Not Like Us. And that's the one that won all of the
Not Like Us. Is that the one where he shits on Drake?
Yes.
So he's getting
he has sued? Multiple songs where
well, I know the whole album is a diss track.
Yes, but like this one is like
that's where he calls him a pedophile.
Right, correct.
Yeah,
and he's being sued right now for defamation.
Yeah,
and it's this song. Yeah, but then it was playing over and over and over and over
it's
again.
Kind of a banger, the Grammys.
So. and everyone was singing along to it because it's quite catchy. And so the question is now, will he perform it at the Grammys? Yes or no?
The Grammys already happened.
Super Bowl. Yes. Will he perform it at the Super Bowl? Yes or no? And if he does, is Drake going to sue the NFL?
He'd probably have to sue Apple Music because they are sponsoring this.
He's already suing Spotify, so it wouldn't be that much of a stretch.
I don't know. I would have to talk to somebody in like, I don't know. So again, I was trying to explain to my parents the beef, which I didn't even understand. I had to listen to a podcast to explain the Drake and Kendrick beef.
Yeah, I don't fully understand it either.
Yeah, I got a good podcast. If you need to listen, I'll send it to you.
Please.
It definitely explains it. It's by The New Yorker.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was trying to explain to my parents, and I was just like, well, I mean, to sum it all up, like, Drake kind of put the hammer down because he straight up called him a pedophile, like, in the song, and my dad was like,
Kendrick.
or Kendrick, I mean.
Yes,
and
yes.
and I was like, and he used those words explicitly. And so we were talking. I was like, I don't know, like, what can you I don't know what you can say or what you can't say. That's a good. Okay, now things that I need to write down. Conversation starters at my Super Bowl party. Will he sing? I think he will sing that song. I don't think he will. I would be shocked if he said that word. I think he will say certified lover boy certified and leave it at that.
And let everyone
sing
in the crowds sing along.
I actually don't. I just think it's the biggest hit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the biggest, most popular song on the album. And
it's like one of the most popular songs in the world right now.
I think it would be. I don't know.
So it's kind of weird. Like that's kind of the interesting discussion point is like it is one of the most popular songs in the world right now. But it would be the first time in Super Bowl history that the headliner is outright dissing another human being and calling.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously gonna pull stuff outside of just this album.
Yeah. He's gonna.
I think if you look at Super Bowl performances in the past, I bet you could look at the list of songs they've played and they've omitted their biggest. I feel like there's definitely somebody in the past who hasn't played their biggest hit. I'm gonna say
interesting.
Oh, do you think he'll sing it? Or do you think he'll sing that song, but just not that part? You know how the Super Bowl is always a hodgepodge of a performance. They're singing 30 seconds of one song, 45 seconds of another, a minute. Like they just kind of, at least in the past, that's how they do it. It's not really a concert as it is as much of a amalgamation of
songs.
Mm-hmm.
I would say no.
You do not think he'll sing it?
No.
I think that's I think he will. I don't think he'll say the word.
You think it'll omit some of those more direct,
or he'll like sing a different part of the song, or he'll like omit that word. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously like it's just funny.
Okay,
like,
here's the question. Yeah. Even with like, regardless of if he performs the song or not, is this just with like the background of what just happened at the Grammys, the beef, everything? Is this the most controversial Super Bowl halftime performer that we've had?
I don't think anybody
recent history, like in the time that you and I have spent growing up watching a Super Bowl. I just don't think. I feel like my opinion of this would be like absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think it's like I think that's an easy yes because I don't know who else would have been controversial. Like list of Super Bowl. Like, I don't think there's anybody. I'm trying to think like back. Okay, let's just go back. I'm gonna go back a little while. 2009, Bruce Springsteen, The Who, Black Eyed Peas, Madonna. I'm just working up year by year. Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Katy Perry, Coldplay, Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, that was probably the most.
Justin Timberlake in 2018.
No. In 2004, Janet Jackson's
Kid Rock, P. Diddy, Nelly, and Justin Timberlake.
Janet Jackson's right breast and nipple, adorned with a nipple shield, was exposed by Justin Timberlake to the viewing public, according to Wikipedia, in 2004.
Okay, did you Google most controversial?
Yeah,
that's wow.
And that would have been it in 2004, which is
but that's not a controversy.
Yeah, that wouldn't be
of the singer. That's
right. It was just like
not a family friendly moment.
Right, well, yeah, and not a family friendly moment in 2004. Now I'm like,
well, I don't think you could shoot. I don't know if anybody's shown a nipple.
If he took her shirt off, that's gross. Like, I don't know what.
That's gross.
Well, like non-consenting wise, I don't know what. I don't know what happened there. But like, if it was literally just a like wardrobe
part of the
malfunction,
dance, or if it was a choreographed dance. I don't know.
I don't think that's
a consensual choreographed dance.
Huge. I don't think that's a huge
if it was
deal at all.
I would agree. It would be a faux pas. Controversial. This wasn't even controversial. Rihanna announcing her pregnancy, but that wasn't a controversy in the performer. That was like in the performance.
Yeah.
That wasn't even controversial. It was just like a big drop.
Deal.
Yeah. Like, oh, is she pregnant? Everybody's sitting there watching. Is she pregnant? Is she pregnant? That caused a huge fight at the Super Bowl party that I was at when we were watching that.
Oh, see, for mine, everyone was just dead silent. And then finally someone was like, so this is going to sound super rude.
But is she pregnant? I was sitting there like, I think I'm like whispering to the person next to me, like, she kind of looks pregnant there, doesn't she? Like, and then, yeah, don't even get me started. But no, I would say it's not even like, but I don't even know if I would. It definitely is controversial, for sure. But it's like, I don't know. This album also came out like a long ass time ago. I don't know. It's like,
yeah, no, it's been going around for a while.
It's just like it's poignant at the moment because it's like all this, Drake's. And if I were Drake right now, I'd be like, fuck. I'd be like, why is he doing the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to, but they're all rich people. It's fine. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. I'll definitely be texting you live. Like, oh my God, he said it. Like, we'll be keeping tabs.
I'm very interested.
Are there, and then like, yeah, like commercials obviously are a big deal, at least in my world.
Yes, I hope for this every year because it's literally the reason that I watch sports is that I want to be distracted and entertained. So I'd really prefer like funny commercials.
You don't want any of those Jesus Saves ones?
No, I mean, which those turned out to be funny because then everyone found out that man has 6 toes that they were like washing his feet. Like it was AI generated too. Nothing wrong with people that have extra fingers and toes.
No,
but it was like
did
AI
a flub.
generated. So it looked very gross because it looked like a computer had created that man.
Because it did.
Yeah. And so that was kind of funny.
Huh.
But no, I'm sure that exact group will
They'll be back. They'll be back on their bullshit for sure.
More random time.
What are you going to be doing for the Super Bowl itself? What time does the Super Bowl start?
I want to say the pre-game is like
6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Kick. What's your Super Bowl plans?
Honestly, I don't have any this year. I hosted last year, and I am someone that enjoys similar to you, right? When the one time I like hosted Purdue's like Sweet 16 or whatever, like for serious games,
I want to be dialed in.
Yeah, I don't want to be around a ton of people that like don't know what's going on, don't know what to expect. And I'm not saying, obviously, I'm not like an expert. Like I can't call out formations and
but you want to watch the game and enjoy the sport.
Yeah, and I know who certain players are and stuff. And honestly, like from like a Purdue lens, like I'm very excited to watch
George Karlaftis.
The defense.
West Lafayette Junior Senior High School, a classmate of mine, might I add? Not really a classmate. He graduated 3 years after me, but we were on the same track team. So.
Yeah. So see, like
RDP.
So like, there's like more stuff that I'm interested in besides just like, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and the halftime show. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I mean, full transparency, my past 2 Super Bowl parties have gone horribly.
Oh my gosh.
Not horribly, just like awkward.
Just seems like a lot. Yeah.
No, it was just like 2 years ago, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl and we hosted, and there were a lot of like hardcore Philly people, Philly fans. And I'm not saying I'm not an Eagles fan, but I am not a hardcore. Like I'm going to watch this game. If they lose, I'm going to be like, oh no, they lost. And then like I have a workout class at 7 a.m. on Monday. So like, I'll be like, gotta go. Obviously I want them to win and I will cheer for them, but I'm not like I'm not like the stereotypical Eagles fan, but I'm not from here. So it's hard to, we had people crying at the end because they lost. And I was like, get a grip. I literally was like people storming out, people throwing things. Yeah. I was like, these people are insane. We're just in an apartment. Everybody relax and eat some buffalo chicken dip. Fine. Last year, similar, it was Chiefs against the Niners. And it was kind of a boring game up until the last quarter. And then it was just awkward. Like, I don't know. Again, awkwardness. It was just like weird. not everybody, people were trying to watch the game, but like one person was trying to watch the game, but nobody else was really trying that hard because we didn't really care. And then somebody drank somebody else's bottle of wine. They got mad. And I'm like, what am I doing? Why does this keep happening to me? So we've gone for a low. We're saying, how can we avoid this? And it's by surrounding yourself with people you know and trust.
Yep.
To not be annoying. So yeah, I'm doing a little, I made like show face at like a real party, and then getting Thai food and ice cream, and I'm making some puppy chow and maybe a funfetti cake, and gonna watch with a few friends. So it'll be nice because I'll be able to like hear the TV, because I too like want to watch in some capacity. Like I don't want to have to be socializing too much. So we can watch, we can talk. I can half pay attention, but I can watch the commercials because I know they're gonna watch. There are people who care more about the commercials in the game, I'm gonna eat some Thai food, vibe out, watch the game. Yeah,
that sounds like, very lovely.
Hopefully it is. Again, like I can't go 0 for 3. Can't happen. Yeah, but it could. But yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to it. The city's a buzz, obviously. I'm in Philly right now, and everybody's decked out. They've been decked out head to toe for the past 2 weeks. So definitely an exciting time to be in Philly. And yeah, no birds.
I don't know who I was with, but someone was like talking to me, and they were like, oh yeah, like your friend won't have to work if the Phillies win the Super Bowl. Like everyone's like, the whole city will shut down. Like she won't have to go to work. And I'm like, so I don't think you fully comprehend.
I mean, like other people. Job. Yeah. Like I got an email from my landlord that was like, hey, if anything comes up on Monday, like I'm out. Like,
which makes sense as like a landlord.
She was like, you can email me, but like preferably I won't answer until noon.
Right.
And then like somebody else, like, yeah, like places aren't opening, like local places definitely like aren't opening until later in the day.
It was funny because I was trying to explain to this person that your job deals with like other countries. And I'm like, other countries don't care about the Super Bowl.
I tried to explain
and he was like, no, like, and then he was like trying to like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, Ben. He was trying to literally like, no, you don't know. Like the city is going to shut down. Even if they lose, it's going to shut down. And I'm like, I understand what's happening in the city. I get that. I've seen like Philadelphia
exist and do its thing.
Yeah. But I'm like, no, my friend will be working.
Yeah, no, I literally have a workout class booked at 7 a.m. So, and it's free coffee on Monday, Starbucks, a free tall or iced or hot coffee on. Shout out to the new Starbucks CEO making changes. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna, so come hell or high water, I'm got a 7 a.m. workout class, and I have to work. I mean, I've got to work. So
yeah, I was like,
but actually, I don't think I have a meeting until 9, which is like crazy for me. So yeah,
you're
go
living,
birds.
You're living
large. So hopefully they win. If they don't, they don't. And Mahomes 3-peats. So
that's like the best thing for me is. Either way, this is a win-win situation because either we see history happen and a team 3-peats, or Saquon Barkley gets a ring. Yeah. And I'm very happy with either scenario. I too, though, will be cheering for Philadelphia because
it's the only correct answer.
I think Saquon Barkley should be the MVP this year.
Yeah, I agree. I can't believe.
And they're
not talking about it more.
To quarterback,
Lamar Jackson or whoever,
or Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
And I'm kind of like,
and he had a pretty good season, but Saquon.
No, they did. Like, I'm not saying they're not deserving of it, but like,
it's just hard. It's hard that the quarterback.
Saquon Barkley did a 180 spin
hurdle,
most athletic thing I've ever seen in my entire life, ever. And it's just like,
I was going to say, I'd like to see Josh Allen do a hurdle, but he hurdles people too.
He's pretty regularly, actually.
Yeah, he's like oddly athletic. He doesn't look athletic, and then he does stuff, and you're like, wow,
that was very athletic.
All right, you do you. But yeah,
go Birds. Those are my final points. So this will be fun for us to check back in.
Touch base on our predictions on
post Super Bowl,
Kendrick Lamar and the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Go Birds. Yeah. Well, there we go. We got it up. Good work.
Thanks everyone for listening. Check us out on all of the socials except Facebook. I've given up updating that.
Fuck Facebook. Get rid of that shit.
Burn it. Burn
it.
Nope, we're not on that anymore. So, but anywhere else, anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. Thanks, and this has been your weekly dose of the Sports Medicine Podcast. Cheers.
Woo.